able to understand that it's right time to tell something. So, good afternoon, all of you. And we are very pleased to participate in this conference to share with you how about the agriculture in Mozambique and the opportunities for cooperation and business. So as you can know, our presentation will have 6 points, as you can see there in the screen. I should begin saying that agriculture in Mozambique plays an important role in the country's economy, contributing with perhaps 28% of the gross domestic product. 80% of the active population depends on agriculture for their source of incomes here in Mozambique. And there are some 36 million hectares suitable for agriculture. And also, it's important to share that the main food crops here in Mozambique are rice, maize, sorghum, millet, beans, soya, sunflowers, groundnuts, pigeon peas, sesame, cotton, cassava, vegetables, fruits, tea, sugar, and cashews. So Mozambique is also suitable for livestock production like poultry, eggs, goats, sheep, and cattle. To increase the contribution of the agriculture sector in food production for national consumption and the agro-industry development. Here in Mozambique in 2020, the government launched a program, national program on agriculture that we call it Sustenta, as a program to integrate smallholder farmers active value chains. The objectives in this presentation we are bringing today for this conference is to expose the main opportunities for cooperation and business in Mozambique agriculture created by Sustenta program. The main agricultural goals for now that are based on the data we have shared in the first slide. The main goals are to increase the proportion of smallholder by the extension services from the current 4.6% to about 46%, and also to promote greater use of certified seeds from the current 4.3 to 26, and sustainable technologies. Another goal is to reduce the post-harvest losses from 30% to 20%, and also increase the income of smallholder farmers, and at least, finally, connect at least 1 million smallholder farmers into markets. I don't know if you listen to me. Then, there are some opportunities for cooperation. The high demand of agricultural inputs for food production requires high investments in improved technologies, generation and transfer. Partnership for promotion in agriculture of certified seeds need to cover the large demand created by Sustenta program. Supply of small equipment and mechanization of all cropping operation from land preparation to post-harvest. Partnerships for production in Mozambique of crops such as sesame, sunflower, soybeans, or for feed and oil industry. Along the cooperation that we have been doing with the Republic of Vietnam, there are some lessons that there is a very good opportunity to share. During the first phase 1 of cooperation between Mozambique and Vietnam that began in 2013 until 2012, the strategy of bringing from Vietnam 8 agricultural experts to live here and work here permanently in our National Institute of Research in Agricultural Research that is in Zambezi province was a very good way of training the Mozambican researchers and farmers in their own environment and working conditions. So 150 extension officers, technicians, and students training on rice production culture. And more than 100 farmers in some districts were also received new varieties of seeds. And there were a lot of gains on this cooperation during these 5 years. In the next slide, in the next slide, we can see some field places where we can see rice, vegetables, sesame, soya beans, and so on. These are some examples of how the work was performed in the field. We can see in the next slide number 9, some new varieties of sweet potato, and so on. And in the next slide also we can see some new technology of growing cucumber involving local farmers that have learned a lot during this cooperation. So during this first phase, the project brought machinery from Vietnam to be tested on rice production. The equipment tested is small, easy to handle in small farms, and they are fuel efficient. Farmers here in Mozambique found that reduced manual efforts and the need of human labor, and reduced the time needs to plant in each hectare. So the equipment tested are listed below. You can see in the next slide, tractors, made of rice plant, transplanted, nursery ties, and so on, a lot of different equipment from land preparation until post-harvest operations. That is a set of equipment that are fully ranged to grow crops, different crops, from cereals until vegetables. The next slide, you can see that this type of equipment that are very adequate for small-scale agriculture in Mozambique, and also for people who has no enormous or big quantities of financial resources to invest, but these small-scale equipment are very, very, very suitable in Mozambique. So in the next slide, we can see how can we strengthen the cooperation between Mozambique and Vietnam. So I would like to emphasize that all the results from phase 1 will be a good drivers for the development of new projects. And we expect that in the next phase of cooperation, priority will be given to the operationalizations of the recently built a national research center of leadership in rice that is in Zambezi province. And this center is still being equipped with the aim of being a center of excellence and a reference for all over the countries in regional, I mean, not only Mozambique, but in certain Africa as all. And we think that will be very, very, very useful for the progresses, mainly for rice production. It has a good research and crop production, and therefore we are looking forward to mobilize support for acquiring equipment and to attract money from overseas and also overseas researchers with a lot of experience and the knowledge of modern research techniques. Private companies are also welcome in Mozambique to enter into partnerships for large-scale production and dissemination of research-generated products, seed production, supply and maintenance of laboratorial equipment, services production, and provision and mechanization of rice production, in small-scale farmers. So this is the presentation we brought for this occasion, hoping that in the next steps we can be on touch to cooperate not only with Vietnam, but also here in Africa with our neighbor countries to develop rice production, sweet potato production, sesame, maize, rice, and the other types of crops that are needed to be developed in terms of integrated value chains that includes small-scale farmers in Mozambique. Yes, we have mentioned it. In Mozambique, more than 98 of agriculture is made by small farmers. So their upgrade to upper stage is very important in the country. So thank you very much for the attention.